Yes, welcome in everyone. This is the 14 Yards Betting Podcast. We're going to head to week 5. Obviously, we have another London game as well. We'll be taking a look at that as well as the usual stuff that we look at: Thursday night football, Saturday night football, and just the one Monday night football. As we've reverted back to normal, reverted back to type on that. As always, joining me to look through week 5 is Mr. Adam Wolford. How you doing, Adam?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, obviously not a great time to be a Bengals fan at the moment, and very worried about them losing to the mighty Cardinals this weekend. But no, looking forward to Sunday. Still haven't planned my day fully, but obviously me and you will be there for the game, so looking forward to that.
Yeah, me and you will be sitting next to each other. To make your week even worse, Adam, you'll be sitting next to me for the best part of three and a half hours. So there we go. Someone that doesn't have to sit next to me for 3.5 hours. You just has to put up with half an hour on this podcast. Is Liam Horsley. Liam, how you doing?
Yeah, very good. I'm very jealous of Adam getting to spend this Sunday with you now. So I have to rotate next time. Next year, I'll probably get a Cardinals versus Raiders game or something when you two get Jags and Bills. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It's okay to be a Chiefs fan, so it's better than being a Bengals fan at the moment, but maybe not as good as being a Cowboys fan. So there we go.
Well, we'll find out Sunday night, won't we? But I'm surprised that considering the obsession that the NFL and Kansas City kind of has with Taylor Swift. I'm surprised they've not renamed the Kansas City Swifts team rebrand. But
I'd buy the jersey.
Maybe this time next week. Did anyone see? I can't remember what WhatsApp chat it was in, but did anyone see the Eagles lining up with the
yeah, I did.
For the 4 jerseys. That's quite funny, wasn't it? If anyone that's
I sent that to my wife, who Taylor Swift fan. It was
Kelsey Cox Hurt Swift or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. Exactly.
Perfectly immature.
Yeah, I don't know if that indicates that it's a singular or plural of Kelsey, but no, we'll never know. Maybe we'll find out. Yeah, different show, but maybe we'll find out on like some sort of Taylor Swift album 5-10 years down the line or something. Anyway, back to more pressing matters. Quick overview of week 4 was not really a good week. Only a couple of us got a couple, so yeah, plenty of. I mean, my week was kind of I was resigned to my fate. Thursday night football when Musgrave went out with a concussion with 1 yard. So, yeah, that was great. But there we go. Never mind. We move on to week 5. Like I say, we have a London game to look forward to. But before we get to that, Thursday night football, I can't work out whether this is going to be an absolute dumpster fire or is actually going to be a sneaky shootout. But it's the Washington Commanders hosting the Chicago Bears. 6.5 point favorites are the Commanders at home. 4-11 on the money line, 9-4 for Justin Fields and the Bears, who continue to find ways to lose games. Over under here is 44.5. Keen to get your thoughts on this, guys. But yeah, I think the key for me for this game is the Washington defensive line. Against Justin Fields, I think they're going to cause probably a bit. I was trying to find a way or a scenario where Chicago win this game, and certainly to even cover the 6.5. Although it's not a line I ever play, I'd juice to 7. But I for a team that have lost 14 straight games and throw it away at home against the Broncos, and then compared to the best unit being the defensive line here of the Commanders, I can't really see a way that Chicago win the game, but could be somewhat of a shootout, Adam.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know whether it's going to be terrible or chaos, really. Obviously the Commanders did well last week against the Eagles. They did that last year as well. Played well against the Eagles, and then maybe a bit of a heartbreaker. Maybe they'll be a little bit down this week, but I doubt it. Obviously, as you say, the Eagles had probably more of a heartbreaker in the way that they lost their game. So, sorry, the Bears had more of a heartbreaker in the way they lost their game. So, yeah, I have gone for the Bears getting the point. It's just because I just think it's just going to be a bit of a chaotic game, and maybe Fields and Komet maybe got things a little bit sorted out last week. Obviously, DJ Moore had a possibly controversial touchdown that counted as he kicked the pylon over. But yeah, you are right. To are the better team. The defensive line is the best unit in the game. So yeah, I've gone for the Bears getting because they were getting 6.5 points, and I think they can probably keep it fairly close and see where it goes from there. But yeah, I have no idea how this game's going to go, frankly.
Yeah, DJ Moore, like I say, obviously he's done after the first couple of weeks of kind of issues and with the offense, he's managed to score a few touchdowns now. But I think the safest bet, Liam, is by far Brian Robinson, who's had a really good start to the season in fantasy and just production itself. He's probably the safest bet for a first touchdown scorer. He's my favorite anytime touchdown scorer. But how do you see the game going?
Yeah, similar. I'm hoping for good chaos, so a fun, high-scoring, crazy game rather than a boring 20-13 game where it's just a bit rubbish from Fields. But I think it just depends what Sam Howell you get, really. Like whether it's a really good game or if it's just going to be a blowout for the Commanders. It doesn't matter how good your defensive line is, Sam Howell will still take a sack against you. So the Bears aren't very good up front, but there's still a chance that they can sack Howell and win the game. So yeah, I'm with you on the Brian Robinson. I wanted just higher odds just for some fun because I do think this game's going to be a bit random. And Justin Fields, I don't know if he scored a touchdown yet this year. So my best bet was Brian Robinson and Fields both to score, which is 5-1. And last year, Fields towards the end of the season was getting touchdowns for fun. So I just kind of praying for fun here. But I think both teams will run it a lot, and then we'll see what the quarterback plays like. But I'm not holding much hope for very good passes down the field in this one.
Yeah, they're not really dialing too much up for Fields in terms of design runs still, and we're heading into week 5. And just in terms of injuries, there are a few injuries. I'm not sure if some of the guys in the secondary for Chicago will be returning as well. So if anyone that has a Dotson or a McLaurin or Curtis Samuel or whatever, there may be a few deep shot opportunities there. And let's say somehow can throw it deep as well. So remains to be seen how that one will play out. There's going to be a very small percentage of people that are going to step up and watch that one, but there will be a high percentage of people watching the second London game, first one from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. As I say, myself and Adam will be sitting at one end of that stadium. Jacksonville are 4.5-point underdogs. Buffalo Bills obviously -4.5, 2-5 on the main line. Jacksonville 2-1. The over under here is at 48.5. Should be a good game prospect. I know the Jags didn't have kind of stalled a little bit, or they've judded along over the last couple of weeks. Kevin Ridley's had up and down games, and Trevor Lawrence has maybe not progressed as much as everyone kind of thought he would at this point in this season or in his career. But should be, Liam, an interesting considering what Buffalo have been doing the last couple of weeks with, I guess, Josh Allen leading the MVP race at the moment, should be entertaining nonetheless.
Yeah, 2 top 10 easy quarterbacks. This should be a fun game. Don't know if it'll be as good. Maybe it might even be better than the Germany game, to be honest. The lineup's pretty good for this one. It'll be interesting to see what the Jags play like. This is the first time they've ever done the 2 weeks in a row thing. So does that make a difference? And do they look a bit more settled? Because anyone who goes to these games, the first quarter and a half is always a little bit random in London games. It's not the highest quality football normally. So I'll be interested to see if they play a little bit better this week. But I think it'll be a very, very high scoring game. Should be a fun one. I think both teams will be able to run the ball as well. So if you're there, I think it's going to be quite a quick game because I don't think there's going to be lots of clock stoppages. The Jags run the ball loads this season. The Bills run the ball more this year than they've ever ran before. In terms of what I think my best bet would be, I'd probably go with the over, I think, in this game. I do like Buffalo as well, but I'd probably go the over. I'd go the Bills over as well. I think their total was 28.5. I still think they could score 30 points on the Jags defense. So, yeah, I'm hoping that you two get to watch a good shootout for the weekend.
Yeah, I think going into this game, I do like the overs. I do like the Bills on the handicap. And in terms of touchdown scorers, I think, obviously Stephon Diggs had a hat trick last week. Gabe Davis has notched in a couple. James Cook, I don't think, is he found the end zone? I think he's found the end zone once, hasn't he?
He did.
And it's a bit of a roulette in the red zone or inside the 10-yard line for Buffalo at running back. But Josh Allen, again, he can run one in as well. But yeah, Adam, I think regardless of what Jacksonville, I think Jacksonville will have to try and find fifth gear quite early in this one because Buffalo just seem to be living in fifth gear.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, as you say, they've kind of been hit or miss this year. They've been a bit all over the shop, really. Obviously, started off on fire, lost a couple of games against bad teams, and then beat a bad team last week. So it's a test of where they are, I guess, in the league as well. Both teams score 20 points is even money. As you guys have said, it should be a fun game. Obviously, the Bills lost White this week, didn't they? And a cornerback.
Yeah.
I don't particularly rate him anyway, but at least it will hurt them defensively. He is one of their key players, so But the linebackers have been stepping up for them. The safeties have been stepping up, so I think they'll be fine there. So yeah, frankly, just want to see a nice, fun game, and obviously that's why I requested this ticket from you, because I thought it'd be one the better game of the 3 London games. So crossed, we'll get to see a good one.
Yeah. Also, would be added to that if Zay Jones can make it. Obviously, he missed last week. He's I don't know what his practice report has been this week, but again, with Tre'Davious White being out, I think adding Zay Jones to wide receiver, though, he's obviously a bit more of a downfield threat, so that he may be the main beneficiary. But yeah, it should be a fun game. Looking forward to watching that. I'm not looking forward to leaving the post game, getting back to walking for half hour to Seven Sisters, and then getting back home. But yeah, well, we've got to do it once a year, and yeah, do it once a year indeed. Okay, let's move over to Sunday night football. Then this one should be an absolute cracker, and I say it doesn't really. I do plan to get home late enough so that I can essentially just stay up and watch. This one is the Dallas Cowboys. My Dallas Cowboys traveling to Levi Stadium to face the San Francisco 49ers, arguably the best team in the NFL at the moment. -3.5 for San Francisco. They're 1-2 on the money line. Cowboys, again, if you are looking for field goals, 3.5 Cowboys might be the one for you. They are 13-8 on the money line. Over under here, I thought was a bit low at 44.5, but obviously we've got two top defenses as well. Aided, you can see over the first couple of first 4 weeks, well, maybe weeks 1, 2, and 4 for Dallas, but I was a bit surprised that the line was a bit low on that. I think it's a bit low on the unders and overs there. I'll be going overs, Adam. What do you fancy this game?
Yeah, points have been nice. So I was just having a look at the 49ers schedule. Obviously, as you say, they've been fantastic to start the year. They've suffered quite a few injuries, and this is going to be the first proper team they've played. They've played the Steelers, Cardinals, Giants, and Rams. So this is a real proper test. And I've said a few times, I think Purdy's good enough. I don't know whether he's good enough to take them to the Super Bowl. And if you want to get that far, you want to beat teams like the Cowboys. So it will be very interesting to see. Obviously, hopefully, the health of Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Juwan Jennings, I think, was injured recently. Mitchell was out last week as well. Hopefully, all those will return, and we'll get to see kind of full strength on both sides. Well, as full strength as we can, obviously, with Trayvon Diggs out for you guys. It should be a heck of a game. Like, there's going to be a lot of running. It'll be. I don't know why this Lupke guy keeps getting touches for the Cowboys. I guess obviously they need to spell Pollard a little bit.
Fullback treaters.
So yeah, I mean Rico Dowdle I think was out, wasn't he? I'm sure I saw his name mentioned earlier that he wasn't practicing this week. So that's not that great for them as a backup. Very good game. Obviously, I'm going to assume the 49ers will win. I can't remember what I actually went for. I went for my boy Jake Ferguson over 4.5 receptions, which is what he was last week. He had 7. I think he had 5 in the first quarter last week. And it was 23-20 last. Probably looking down about evens, but I do like Jake Ferguson. Tim's been high on him all pre-season, all summer, and coming into the year, he looks like he's established himself as, well, frankly, the main man in the passing game.
Yeah, there's a couple of fascinating storylines heading into this one. Obviously, Michael Parsons is a bit limited as well. I don't think he'll be quite 100%, but they'll play him when they need to on certain downs and scenarios and whatnot as well. But I'll be interested to see kind of how the Dallas offense operates against San Francisco away. Obviously, the last couple of times we played San Francisco, it's been a bit of a clown show and it's been a bit of a debacle. So, and I'll tell you now, I will not speak one bad word of Mike McCarthy for the rest of the season if we go into Levi Stadium and win. But I just can't see it. I can't see it. I'd like to think it's a field goal game, and with that in mind, I'd probably take the +3.5 because I like the hook in those types of games. But I'll also be fascinated to see what the Dallas defense does against kind of the immovable object. I know you said, Adam, that they've not really faced anyone, but I think we've got more than a small sample size even from last season that they just steamroll teams anyway. So obviously 2 of the top 3 teams in the NFC. It's just going to be a great game. It's better than some of the other crap that we've had on Sunday Night Football to start the season. So at the very least, I'm just hoping it kind of lives up to that billing rather than when the San Francisco 49ers went down in the playoffs last year because all their quarterbacks went down, and I just hope it's a bit better than that. Or was it Washington? I can't remember. Anyway, it should be a fun game. Liam, what do you think? What do you fancy?
I'm hoping for no running backs taking snaps and getting drilled by defensive tackles like the last time these two teams played, with that famous Zeke Elliott moment that I just replay in my mind at least once a week, probably when I think about the NFL. Just Zeke getting piled right in that game was a fun one. As the biggest Cowboys fan on the podcast, I've gone for Dak Prescott for 2+ TDs and Cowboys to win 11-4. Yeah, I think the Cowboys win. We've got the Cowboys going to Super Bowl. They got by far the better quarterback, by far the better offensive line. I think they've got a better defense. Shame about the weapons, but I'll avoid that hope for CMC, like a slight quad pull or something during the game because he hasn't had an injury yet. But yeah, I think this will be a fun game. And a lot of money's on the under, so I think 45 is the total. And 83% when I looked earlier, the money is on the under, which does surprise me. Normally these island games get bet over just because people want a fun game, and obviously the 49ers have scored a lot of points. Cowboys scored a lot of points too, but they had that one dodgy week, and their red zone offense hasn't been great. But yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to win. I just fancy them for some reason. And also now you've told me you're not going to mention Mike McCarthy. I'm cheering on even more. Now I'm actually going to stay up and watch this and just be a Cowboys fan for the night.
What's that me during the game? Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Like I say, we've got enough sample sizes, enough instances in the past where we just pie ourselves in the face. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it.
What's your best bet then? Is it +3.5 or is it?
I'll take San Francisco -3 because I think it's far more likely that Dallas will just won't show up and piddle down their pants. But if it's 3.5, yeah, if you've got 3.5, I wouldn't mind a +3.5 if you're Dallas if you think it's going to be a close game. But if it was at Dallas, maybe feel a bit differently. Be interesting to see what the line is. Probably be a +1 for Dallas, or maybe might even get a pick 'em maybe. But yeah, on an island game in San Francisco, Sunday Night Football. I know Dallas. I think the San Francisco 49ers will just be able to do enough on offense to attack our defense, and I just think it might be just a case of we'll continuously playing catch up, and we can't do it. It might be close going into the third quarter or whatever, but I don't know. I can't see it. But there we go. Yeah, prove me wrong, Mike McCarthy. I bloody well dare you. Let's round off with Monday Night Football then. Bit of an interesting line and kind of total for this one. Packers are even money on the money line, -1.5 in terms of spreads. It's pretty much a pick 'em everywhere you go. Over under here is 44.5. They travel to the Vegas Raiders. Jimmy G is obviously still in the concussion protocol, and from a Raiders standpoint, you're praying to the gods that Jimmy G gets over his concussion, because what O'Connell put on the field last week was not good, Bob, shall we say. But Liam, your thoughts on this one? I can't see how the Packers aren't favoured by a couple of points here.
Yeah, it's a weird line, isn't it? I think even the total is weird like that. Put in that 44.5, 45, depending where you look. Range is a bit of an odd one with the situation. But yeah, today Jimmy G practiced, but he's still in concussion protocol. Devontae Adams didn't practice. So yeah, I'm surprised the line. I think by the time the game starts, the line could be 3, just because
I think people are going that way.
Yeah, I think people are going to hammer this. And
all that money they win from San Francisco, be doubling up on Green Bay.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it could be a high-scoring game if Jimmy plays. Don't actually rate either of the team's defenses. The Packers are very similar to every year. They've got good players on paper, but they don't play good defensive scheme. They're not very good against the run. They give up a lot of big plays. So yeah, I think it'd be quite a fun game if Jimmy plays. If there's no Jimmy and Devontae, then this could just be an absolute rout, to be honest. And the Packers might end up having a second half where they're just running the ball continually just to kill the clock. In terms of my best bet, I'm going to go for Devontae Adams TD now, and if he doesn't play, I'm swapping that to Packers money line. That's my stand for the poll. I just think Devontae Adams will definitely score against his old team if he plays. Doesn't matter who the quarterback is, they'll throw it to him 10, 12, 15 times. But yeah, if he obviously doesn't play, then yeah, I just think the Packers will be far too good for them. But yeah, it should be a high-scoring game, I think.
Yeah, I totally forgot it was a Devontae Adams revenge game, but there we go. Adam, I agree with Liam that I like Packers money line, but you've gone a bit further than that on your best bet.
Yeah, just looking around, obviously Liam mentioned the Sky Bet boost last week, so I had a quick look on there, and Jordan Love to throw 2 passing touchdowns and the Packers to win was 7-4, just bumps it up a little bit. And he has been throwing a lot of passing touchdowns, even when they're getting close. Obviously, AJ Dillon hasn't scored yet this year because it's not cold enough. just come back. He hasn't done much in the running game last week. So yeah, it does seem to me like they're throwing a lot more touchdowns than they're running in at the moment. So yeah, I just thought we'd go with that just to bump it up 7-4. It's another one though, like last week with the Colts. The Colts were -1, but it was even money line, and 10-11 losing the point, which it kind of boggles my mind a little bit. Obviously, I guess because most people bet the spread, and that people don't really look at the money line. I don't know, but obviously, yeah, you'd take the Packers money line over them on the spread, obviously.
Yeah,
obviously. Okay, that's all the primetime games. Let's have a little look. Thursday night football. Brian Robinson, anytime touchdowns for myself. Bears +6.5 for Adam, and Liam's gone one step further. B Rob and Fields anytime touchdown score at 5-1. Sunday night football. San Francisco -3 for me. Ferguson over 4.5 receptions for Adam, and Liam's gone for the moonshot. I mean, you can give me 11-1, and I still wouldn't back that. But Dak 2+ passing touchdowns, and Dallas to win is 11-4. And then Monday night football. Packers money line. For me, love 2 passing touchdowns, and Green Bay to win 7-4. Liam's got Adam's touchdown. I haven't got any prices for that yet, so that's why it's a question mark there for those that are watching on YouTube. But yeah, obviously, if Adams doesn't play, Liam wants to revert to the Packers money line. Okay, fellas, just the Sunday games to get through. As always, we start off with the handicaps. Adam, what do you fancy over the handicaps this week?
Yeah, I struggled again this week, and for some stupid reason, I'm going back to the AFC South, and I'm buying the hype on the Texans. Obviously, last week I went for the Colts. It looked like that was over within one quarter. Then they pulled it back. Obviously, got to overtime and lost in overtime, so it was a proper roller coaster. At least I got my Anthony Richardson scoring a touchdown from it. At least, yeah. This week I've gone for the Texans to beat the team that they're playing. I always do this. I always forget who's playing who. Atlanta, obviously. Obviously the Falcons coming back from London. Traveling back home, obviously a very disappointing result for them. You'd imagine they're going to go even more run heavy than they have done already with the issues with Ridder last week. So, yeah, I think the spread. Oh no, the spread is right there. So yeah, the Texans are getting 2 points. Obviously, really, I want to bump it up to 3, but we'll see how that goes over the weekend. But yeah, CJ Stroud's been fantastic. He's been lobbing the ball all over the place. Tank Dell, Nico Collins, they've been putting up 100, 150-yard games kind of between them, alternating it. Realistically, I should go over on the total, but the Falcons have let us down week in, week out, so I can't go over them on a total. So yeah, I'll go for Texans +2 against the Falcons.
Yeah, something like that. So that's it. If anyone watching on the YouTube or wherever it's video enabled, they're all running across the screen there. Liam, what do you fancy?
But yeah, that was one of my options actually, as a CJ Stroud truther. So I like that one.
Stroud and proud.
Exactly. I actually live in Stroud as well, so this is it's just that's where I live is called. So maybe that's why I've just been conditioned to see the name Stroud all my life. Yeah, I did like the Bengals as well, because the Cardinals they're still the Cardinals. But every time I pick the Bengals, Adam gets upset. So I've gone for my team.
I'm definitely with this week.
-3 for the Chiefs against the Vikings. I think it's 8-15. It is 3.5 in places. So if you don't want to buy the extra, I'd still bet it. Because I just think this is a really bad defense that the Chiefs are going against. Mahomes didn't play well last week. Anytime he doesn't play well, the week after doesn't normally go very well for the other team's defense. So yeah, I think the offense will be good. They can't cover tight ends. They're the second worst team in the league at covering tight ends. So Travis Swift will have a very good day, I'm sure. And then from the other side of the ball, I really like Kirk Cousins, but they're turning the ball over a lot as a unit, and Chiefs defense are pretty good. So yeah, I think it'll be a high-scoring game, and Chiefs will win by about a touchdown.
Yeah, I agree. My best bet was Kansas City. I think they're going to absolutely slaughter Minnesota. They've not impressed me at all this season. Minnesota, I know in the NFC North preview pods, we were like, "Oh, Minnesota, great value," but yeah, fingers have been burnt on that one. I think that one's dead in the water after week 4. But it's long season ahead. Who knows? There were a couple that I thought were a bit interesting. New York Jets being 2.5 away, 2.5 point underdogs going to Denver. Breece Hall is my favourite touchdown scorer bet for the weekend. I think the Jets I think the Jets defense will stop Denver from scoring. And like I say, Denver were lucky to get the win last week, and it was a bad Chicago Bears defense, and it'd be a low scorer. And I think the Jets, I can't remember who the kicker is for the Jets. Is it Zerline? There'll be just a massive. There'll be loads of field goals in that one. So if you play kickers in your fantasy, go kickers in that game. But I think the Jets will squeak that one out because I think there's a lot of unity and there's still a lot of. Zach Wilson played all right against the Chiefs. I think there's a tiny bit of momentum there, and I think the Denver Broncos are just a bit of a mess. But so I thought that was a bit interesting. Obviously, I'd pay up to do +3 so that if I think it's going to be a field goal game, you get the insurance that if it does end up as a field goal to Denver, you get your kind of money back. But I did chuckle when I saw Arizona +2.5 against the Bengals. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, that's what's happened here? Like out of context, NFL.
The look ahead line was 8.5, wasn't it?
Was it? Jeez.
Probably. Yeah, there's just been a statement about Burrow. Burrow's apparently feeling the best he's done all season in Wednesday practice. He wasn't on the injury report for the first time all season. We're adding a little more each week, he said. Today felt good, hoping to do a little more tomorrow and a little more the next day. I'm optimistic for that part of my game. So he's claiming he feels better after getting the shit knocked out of him constantly last week against the Titans. So that's what he needed. He needed. I am not looking forward to that game. Obviously, I will hopefully be home for that one if I drive. If I get the bus, I'll be watching it on the National Express on the way home, and we'll see how that one goes.
Yes, we will. Yeah, some other ones that I liked. I agree with you, Houston. I think Houston money line's a good bet this week, and Indianapolis at home against Tennessee. Tennessee, I know they rode Derrick Henry last week, but I think again pay up a 0.5 point to get the 3 there. Spread double Chiefs Bengals 23-10. That's not for me personally, but yeah.
I've just bet it live. I've just bet it live because of Adam.
And then Pittsburgh, Baltimore. If you can again pay down to get Baltimore -3, I think Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett and Trubisky and whatever. I think Baltimore will win by more than the field goal. Again in Pittsburgh, I don't think Pittsburgh are that good either.
Steelers are a stinking mess, but it's the Ravens game. They get up for that one for obvious reasons. I think they may be stronger if Trubisky plays, although there was supposedly Pickett's going to play, which seems remarkable given how bad that injury looked last week.
Yeah, it's just a bone bruise, isn't it?
Supposedly, yeah.
And then, there we go. Yeah. And then just the other one that I thought was a bit weird was New England -1.5 against New Orleans. I know Derek Carr was an absolute mess last week, and he shouldn't really been in the game. But I don't think with Christian Gonzalez being out for the season as well as Judon being out, I don't necessarily see why the Patriots should be favorite in that game because they are absolutely crap. And the Saints defense is all right. They'll just stop Ramondre Stevenson, and then that's it. You've stopped the Patriots.
Yeah. Patriots shouldn't be favorite in any game, so I'm quite.
Adam's gone for a bit of a freeze there. So while he's freezing, I'll change the banner and we'll look at some total points then before we get out of here. Adam, your favorite total over under?
I was just ranting about the Patriots being favourite in a game. They shouldn't be favourite in any game. So,
the way the internet stopped you from spouting out hate against the Patriots. Bill Belichick's watching in. He's like, right, stop his camera.
Well, fortunately, they're my under this week. Under 41 points in the Patriots versus Saints game. The Saints haven't been able to score much this year, and the Patriots can't score much. So I thought it was a fairly easy under in this one. Obviously, I had the under in the Bengals game last week. It didn't happen the way I would have liked it to happen, but it was only 30-odd points, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see some kind of 17-13 madness in this one. I just think it's going to be a fairly terrible game, frankly.
Yeah, and looking at I actually cheated and I went for the over in the International Series game. So let me pick another one that I quite like. Actually, I'll pick one whilst Liam explains his.
Yeah, so mine. Anytime you can bet on Mitch Trubisky potentially in an AFC North game that are always low scoring, and you can bet the over. When I'm looking at a website that tells me 99, I've never seen this before, 99% of the money is on the under in America. Anytime you can bet the over in Steelers Ravens, I'm just going to do it for fun. So over 38 in Ravens Steelers. Everyone listens knows I'm a bit of a nerd, so I put my numbers in my spreadsheet and came out at 41.5. So and it's how I can get 3.5 points extra in this game. So I'm basically cheering on Lamar. I'm cheering on Zay Flowers, Gus the Bus to score enough points.
Mark
The Steelers
Andrews.
only, Mark Andrews,
the greatest kicker in history.
The greatest kicker in history needs at least 4 field goals. But yeah, I just think Steelers secondary is not very good. I think Ravens will score a lot of points. Ravens are very injured on defense, so I do think the Steelers will be able to run the ball and score some points. I think it'll be in the 40s. So yeah, I've gone overs in that game. I wanted to go overs in the Texans-Falcons game, but as Adam keeps reminding me, I've picked the Falcons over in every week nearly.
Yeah,
so I've just stayed away.
That screams. Yeah, I see a lot of games here. I see a lot of unders. I think I mentioned obviously about the Denver New York Jets game. I think that'll be an under. I know it's a late 30s. I'm just waiting for 42.5. Yeah, give me the under on Denver New York Jets. I think there'll be a lot of field goals in that one. But I see a lot of those games as kind of really one-sided. Detroit, Carolina. I can't see Carolina scoring a lot of points. And say Detroit's pass rush against Carolina's offensive line and Bryce Young, being a rabbit in headlights. I don't see Carolina scoring that many. So Detroit don't actually score that much against Carolina, and they've got a fairly okay run defense. So it'd be interesting. That's a decent matchup. But yeah, all across the boards, I'll see unders like Miami, New York Giants. Giants probably be down 40-0 by halftime. So
that's the Sky game, by the way. Why is that the Sky game?
Oh, I don't know. I have no idea.
They've made some weird choices this year.
I'll be travelling back, so I don't really care.
No, Neil Reynolds is a Dolphin. He single-handedly picks the games, so he's got to have them on.
Yeah,
exactly.
Indianapolis, Tennessee could be an over. What else we got here? New England, New Orleans. Yeah, I fancy the under on that one. Arizona, Cincinnati again. I think that'll be another under because I don't think either team will score very much points. I think Cincinnati's defense will kind of keep the Bengals edge that one out, and then the Rams and the Eagles could be an over if the offensive line of the Rams can deal with that pass rush of the Eagles. But yeah, interesting games. Interesting games
as well.
In Cooper Cup returns, yeah, of course, yeah, and Jonathan Taylor obviously for the Colts.
Yeah.
Do you think Chiefs Vikings will be over? Because that's the biggest total of the week, 52.5. I think everyone's betting over, but I'd be intrigued to know. I'm obviously biased, but what do you guys think?
I think it will be a backdoor over. I think it'll be a garbage time Minnesota backdoor touchdown. No one cares about over, if you like. So it'd be like a 30 to. No, I'd probably.
Do the maths.
I'd say no. I was gonna say it's what 30 to 24. I can't see Minnesota scoring 24, but I think that's the line's about right. I know 52.5. So what 30, 21. No, I'd leave that line, but
yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? There we have it. That's did I do a picture of that? I think I probably did. Best bet trebles. There we go. Let's remind ourselves of what we went through then. Handicaps: Kansas City at -3 for both myself and Liam. Adam's gone Houston at +2. Total points over 48.5. Buffalo Jacksonville. I cheated, but I also went under on the Denver New York Jets game 42.5. Adam has gone under 40. New Orleans, New England. Liam over 38. Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. And then touchdown scores. I didn't really talk about touchdown scores, did we? Because there's not really any prices out. But we'll have a quick. I've gone for Breece Hall. Obviously, news came out this week that he's not going to be on a snap count anymore. And I think, not necessarily saying they're going to unleash him, but it's the Denver defense. So I think that's the only way they're going to really score. To be quite honest, obviously with Zach Wilson at quarterback. So that's why I went that. Adam, you went Jamar Chase. So I'd like to see you explain yourself on that one.
Because he's always open. He's always flipping open. Like he kicked off last week after the game, and I just don't know why the Bengals, with possibly T Higgins out with a fractured rib, although he'll probably be wearing a Kevlar jacket or whatever they normally put on. But yeah, Chase obviously.
That's what Knights wear, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure they wear some guff like that.
Just T Higgins running around in a metal suit like from like Monty Python.
But yeah, Chase hasn't scored this season, I don't think. And as I say, he moaned to the media after the game last week. He was obviously pissed off with how incredibly bad the Bengals were against the Titans. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see 15 odd targets against a poor Cardinals defense. I don't know how the pass rush has actually been for the Cardinals. In my head, they don't have one, but I know obviously they drafted a couple of players this year, but I would assume it's not great. And if Burrow's protected, this will be frankly the first below top 10 pass rush he's faced all year. So it should give him a bit more time. And yeah, like I say, apparently is always open, and even when he's not, he wins the ball. So for me, if it was me seeing that as a Zach Taylor or as just a clueless Zach Taylor or clueless offensive coordinator for the Bengals, which it seems to have been this season, just lob it to Chase 15 times a game, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, Jamar Chase, like a good drive through McDonald's, always open. That's what we're going to go with that one.
Apparently so.
I don't really know why. I don't really know why they're not riding Joe Mixon, to be honest, the Bengals. But anyway,
He's not very good.
He's been running well this year. He's done all right.
Let's not have some Joe Mixon slander on this podcast. Thank you very much. Yeah, and whilst we're here, Kadarius, I can see Kadarius Toney's. I nearly vomited when I typed that.
He's going to score eventually.
Yeah. I don't know what price. What price is he this week?
4-1.
Million to 1.
It's 4-1.
4-1. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
It was him or Rashee Rice. I was picking a chief.
Rashee Rice is going to score a touchdown this week.
It's the highest points total. There's not many games. I have barely gotten a touchdown score right all season, so why not just keep? I'm just going to keep going Chiefs games until the end, until I get one right. Tony's been non-surprisingly injured, so didn't play many snaps the last 2 weeks. He's has been practicing all week, and basically said that his toe injury is fine now. So yeah, they'll use him in the red zone like they always do. They just got to get to the red zone, unlike they did, unlike the Jets game. So if they get there, he'll get one. Vikings defense is terrible. So yeah, I'm going for Tony. It was Tony or Rice. Tony was slightly better price, so I'll go for Tony.
There we go. Right, there we go.
Travis Kelce was like 4-6, by the way. So I was like, I couldn't do that this week. So
Pacheco 5-6. He seems to have taken over that backfield. Pacheco 5-6 didn't seem too bad, but yeah, Rashee Rice was the one that kind of stuck out to me because Sky Moore's just going downhill. So there we go. We're going
just a slight right turn there. Because you guys, obviously, you mentioned Jonathan Taylor coming back, and obviously he's saying the contract was an off-season thing. It sounds like he's going to play. Would you take 5-1 on the Colts winning the South? Obviously, they've looked all right, and Zach Moss, if he can put up the yards he's been putting up,
I think. Do you know what? I think it's going to be a bit weird saying this, and I might vomit, but the AFC South could be quite fun for the next couple of years because you've got.
Looks mildly interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, if the Titans sort themselves out at quarterback, obviously Levis and whatever is the other one. Who's the running quarterback?
Willis.
Stroud.
No, not Stroud.
Oh, Levi. Yeah.
Willis.
Levis.
No, Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Willis.
Well, if they sort out quarterback, that could be a really fun, interesting division because the defenses aren't overly great, and they've got some potentially stars at quarterback in that division. So that could be, not saying it's going to be the NFC East 2 or 3 years from now, but could be quite interesting.
I prefer Texans at 5-1 than I do Colts at 5-1.
Yeah, I was going to say they're both 5-1. So yeah, I think over the price you're getting on the Jags or the Titans, that they'd definitely be the ones I'd be aiming for there.
Is your Colts every score a rushing touchdown in every game still going?
No, it blooming died because of Gardner Minshew being in there. He threw one to Zach Moss, annoyingly, and it's going to be there all season. It's going to be there all freaking season. It's still in my open bets thing, which is really going to piss me off because I know that it's lost.
Especially if they score every other week after this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I think that's the way it's going to be, which is really frustrating. But no, 100-1 that was, and it's all because Anthony Richardson got concussed, and frankly, Jonathan Taylor kicking off.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was quite interested because although I think obviously Jonathan Taylor will play, it'd be interesting to see what price Zach Moss is anytime because obviously Jonathan Taylor I don't think will just walk into 100% of the snaps, so he could be a potential.
You'd hope not, wouldn't you?
There's no prices there, but if Zach Moss returns back to like 4 or 5-1 or whatever, because they think that Jonathan Taylor is going to take it all. I'll be interested to see what the price is for him, but no, nothing that I can see early doors on that. They've been really bad on anytime touchdown scores this week, which is why we've not really been able to give you guys watching or listening any kind of insights on any big prices. So they obviously heard my Justice Hill in week 1 and thought, fuck it, we'll put everything up after they've put the podcast out on Thursday night. So There we go. That's the power that we yield, guys. The power that we yield. That's going to do it for us. We're going to, me and Adam will go and enjoy Buffalo and Jacksonville in London. Liam will go and enjoy Minnesota, Kansas City in the comfort of his own home. We will see you all next week. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. If you want to give us a subscribe, follow, 5 stars, and all that malarkey, we would love that. But yeah, good luck with all your bets. Gamble responsibly, and we'll see you next week.